You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live, This Week. Featuring news and commentary on This Week in Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live this week, Derrial Christon.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're watching Black Hollywood Live this week. We are listening to the hottest track right now. P. Diddy and the Family coming back to us right now. What's the track called? I can't even Finna Loose. Because we get loose up in here. But I mean, this track is so hot. He premiered at the BET Awards this year, and it reminds me of Old School Bad Boy. But joining me today, we'll get into that a little bit more. Joining me today is the beautiful Courtney Stewart.
What's up, what's up?
DJ Jesse J.
What up?
And our very special guest today, the first gentleman in hip-hop, style icon, talent, TV personality, doing big things. Fonzworth Bentley's with us
in the house. Thank you so much.
What's up, man?
Welcome.
Man, it's always a pleasure seeing you.
And we know each other for real.
We know each other. We go way back.
Y'all, they were gonna make panties together. They told
we
like
were.
They go all the way back.
You gotta put that in context.
Right. You gotta put it in context.
They were going to do a line of lingerie together.
Yeah.
I'm so fascinated by that.
Thinking as entrepreneurs.
We were ahead of the time.
Entrepreneur Negroes, y'all. Doing it up.
Well, thank you for joining us, man. You're doing a lot of good things. I got a chance to see you perform this year at the BET Awards.
Yeah, it was the Bad Boy reunion.
The Bad Boy reunion, 20 years.
I had to touch it. I had to touch the stage, and it just felt good. I mean, they had the locks, and to hear Peaches and Cream with 112, and the Benjamins, and I mean, Little Kim. It's all about Little Kim.
I mean, when Kim came out, her energy level was crazy.
It's all about Little Kim. And you gotta understand, before that, when Puff fell, like, in order to get out, he had to step on her head. That's what people don't know.
Right.
So like, she had had her hand stomped on, and she still came up as a professional and left it all on the dance floor.
Now there's this whole back and forth about him falling on the stage or not falling on the stage. Like, was that planned or not planned?
Oh, no. So here's the thing. When he goes front stage, he was told by Lorianne, the choreographer, to stay up there because now the door is going to open for Kim to now pop up. But Puff said he was in the moment and he was grooving. He felt that he was getting too much shine and he wanted the locks to get some shine. But you're supposed to walk around.
Yeah.
But he turned around and doing his Diddy Bop and disappeared. And so, it was interesting because he literally didn't hit anything. Like, he just fell down, and then in order to get up, he literally had to stand on Little Kim's head to get up.
Man.
And his attitude, I gotta say, his attitude was really good. He's like, you know what, let me be perfectly honest. He's like, there's some people who may not even care that I'm putting the record out Tuesday, because he was putting the record out anyway. He was like, but now because of this fall, like, everybody's gonna know that I performed, and it happened. He was like, it reminded him he had just watched the Bishop Jakes message that talked about shallow water. So shout out to Diddy for having the right perspective
Absolutely.
on what could have been a detrimental moment.
Listen, shout out to Diddy just for that hot track, because that's my summer joint. And shout out to Pharrell for doing it. And I mean, I literally went home and I saw you actually Sunday night at the Diddy party. And when they played it 5 times in a row, I just kept hearing it, and then that next morning I literally played it like 10 times. I was at the gym playing it. I mean, it was going in. It's
a good record.
It's a good record. I can't wait for it. Bad Boys back.
They're back, baby.
All right, man. Well, we're going to get into a lot of topics today, including the View host Raven Simone says Black Twitter hates her. She's had a lot of controversy this year with comments that she's made in the news, so interested to hear about that story. A minority host may be replacing Donald Trump on Celebrity Apprentice. He made those comments recently that were getting a lot of burn and a lot of people upset about his perspective on Mexicans. And then the last thing that we're going to be talking about that's included in the topics today is dancer Misty Copeland makes history.
Yes, she did.
She is changing the game of ballet.
Copeland.
She's killing it. But first, we're going to read the last week's Buzzer Meter question, which was, who are you most excited to see honored at the BET Awards? It was Janet Jackson, obviously, who was there, Smokey Robinson, and Tom Joyner. You guys voted. 51% of you said Janet Jackson.
Of course.
33% of you said Smokey, and 16% of you said Tom Joyner. I mean,
Now watching it
was
afterwards,
all about
I would have
Janet,
switched
though.
the numbers around because as far as performance-wise went, that Smokey Robinson tribute was everything.
It was
They
everything.
did great.
I know folks was mad, like, okay, Janet, are you about to...
Do something.
Everybody was
to
waiting
song?
for it. They were waiting for it.
They were waiting
Yeah,
for it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But then Janet was looking good, and she's coming on tour. I
All
got
she
my
really gotta
tickets
do,
for October. You know what I'm saying?
is
I'm
just
ready for
walk
you,
out and
Janet,
be
Miss Nasty.
fabulous.
But I feel
coming.
like Sierra was when she came with that silhouette with the hair curled
She killed it.
up,
I can't.
did.
I
She
am
did a
not
great
mad at
job.
her. She did a
She
great
definitely
job.
like melted into.
I
Janet.
will say, though, if you watch them, and they all did a really good job, you now appreciate Janet that much more.
I agree.
Because it was just it's just something different on it. It was
Yeah.
a different
It's a
funk
different
on it. It's a
funk.
little more grounded.
Yeah.
It was
We
like
love
the
you,
kids'
Janet.
bop
And I was
version.
glad that the others didn't sing. I can't lie to you. You know what I'm
If they
saying?
sang, I
We don't
would've been
need
real
that.
You know what I'm saying? We don't need
upset.
it. And 'cause, you know, let's keep it honest. You know, like Janet, you know, she sometimes sings to track, but it's understandable because of all the dance moves she's doing. It's hard to bust those moves and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden
Oh, yeah.
jump up on the
Yeah.
mic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I appreciate that even more. But I was glad that no one else sang her songs either because I only wanted to hear
And
Janet's
Janet
voice.
is her own voice. Like,
You know,
that's a different.
she's her own voice.
Don't do
I
that.
agree.
Yeah, don't do that. All right, the buzz meter question for today is something that's hitting the news all week, and people have been talking about this as well. Will Nene Leakes' career soar after she leaves The Housewives? She's saying she's going to leave Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's said that before.
I don't believe it.
You know, we'll see what happens because that's a
We'll
big
talk
check. I
about
know
that.
Andy Cohen's,
That's a big
talked
check.
about the check that she gets on that show. So it'll be interesting to see. But we want to know what you guys think about it. Let us know. We'll read those results next week. First up, we're going to move on to the trending topics with DJ Jesse J.
So in 2014, Raven sat with Oprah. And she made some comments about not wanting to be in boxes and that she doesn't really look at herself as an African American. She hates labels. And Oprah said to her, well, girl, did you just say you ain't African American? Black Twitter is going to hate you. Well, now in 2015, Raven came out in an interview and said, well, you know what, Oprah? She's Miss Cleo because Black Twitter hates me. So apparently, stemming off of those comments, Black Twitter has not been a big fan of Raven. And then also last month on The View, she made a comment in which it sounded like she was sticking up for the person who had said that Michelle Obama looked like an ape. And Black Twitter went
She
in
did.
on her. I mean, she kind of...
Did she really?
Oh, she did. She said, all of us look like animals.
She said,
I look like a bird.
toucan.
Oh, that was her way of spinning it?
Yeah.
Right, we all were like, yeah.
Because, it's
yeah.
like I want to root for her, but it's like some of the things she'd be saying, I'm like, girl.
I will root for
I
her.
love her, though.
I
Who we-
will
who we
root
rooting
her.
for now?
Raven.
Okay.
Because she's a regular now. Has she said some dumb things? Absolutely. However, I do think that some of the things that are not necessarily dumb that she said, that are not necessarily what I agree with, like when she's talking about voting and millennials and why they don't vote and those types of things, like I do think that she does represent an honest perspective of a substantial amount of young people. So I don't think it's wrong to hear that voice. I think it's unsettling and it's bothersome, but I think we need to know, and I think it's not a bad thing that she is representing that, because if we keep pretending like it doesn't exist, it doesn't mean it's going to go away.
Right.
So I still try to defend her, but I understand why Black Twitter hates her, because she does say some dumb stuff.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I had this conversation a little bit before we started the show with Fonz, and I just feel like she says just things that she doesn't think about before she says it. And if she's supposed to be the voice, I know you said kind of she's the sort of the voice of this generation of millennials in that regard, but I just sometimes don't really want to hear her opinion. I don't know what it is. Like I don't know. I loved her as an actress, but for some reason I just don't really want to hear about
Derrial.
issues. I
You're
don't.
an
I mean,
elitist.
no, that has nothing to do with it. There's lots of people I'd like to hear their opinions, but for some reason with hers, I think because she said things in the media that I'm kind of like contradict a lot of issues or things that she said. I don't know. I'm not there yet with her. I'm not 100% in. I just got to be honest. Love her, but not 100% in.
I think The View's a great place for her, and the reason why is because she, like you said, she does represent a large group of individuals who are going to be taking over the country in years to come. And I think it's great for her to sit across women who have lived a longer life than her, especially like Whoopi. When they be going back and forth with each other, Whoopi gets irritated with her, but she schools her. She has the conversation with her in it from a direction of, I'm not going to judge you based off what you said, but look at it this way. And I think there are times where Raven kind of sits back and is like, oh, she be trying though to find some way to make sure she sound right. But I think it's a good place for her, a good platform, because she's bringing up a perspective that is not spoken about. And I just think that it needs to be addressed, and I like the fact that they do combat with each other on the show, because it's for a younger audience to watch this, because let's keep it real, The View was an older audience viewing it before Raven came on. Now you got kids watching it.
Right.
Well, what I was going to say is, when I say the voice, I mean, she represents kind of this coming into myself, my own ideas, I've now come out the closet, that sort of thing. But I think that it becomes interesting when you say you don't like labels, but then you say all of Black Twitter hates me. I represent Black Twitter, and I don't hate you.
Contradiction.
So it is a contradiction, and so we got to be careful with our flat-footed statements when they just don't all the way have merit.
And I'm not gonna lie, maybe I'm a little still annoyed that she said she wasn't black. So that's really I think deep down inside, if I really just go soul searching, is probably part of my issue with her.
Okay.
But great actress, and we'll see what happens with her at The View, because there's clearly some more shakeup that's going on. Because I read today that they're saying Rosie's still she may not be on the show anymore.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And there was a couple other changes that they may be making, but they said that Raven's staying. So we'll see what happens.
Well, so moving on from that, the game is in the news
again.
I mean, we always kind of talk about this slander on social media. Well, apparently in 2013, the game, his kid's nanny by the name of Karen Monroe filed a lawsuit for defamation of character. So basically what had happened, the game had ran around telling all of his friends that this woman was having sex in the kid's bedroom, that she would yell at the kids, hit the kids, and all these things were happening, which I'm kind of confused as to if these things were happening, why did you continue to have her your nanny?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he started posting pictures of her on Instagram saying, "Do not trust this woman. This woman hits kids."
He's got a lot of followers.
Yeah, so she came out to say, well, reputation is everything in the celebrity nanny business, and he slandered my name. No one wants to work with me now. So LA court has awarded her $200,000, in which the game has to cough up. How y'all feel about that?
Well, $200,000 is going to run out very quickly.
I was like,
all this,
Especially in California.
Especially
in California.
In California. So if this is the business that she's in, I still think that she got the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works as far as appealing or seeing a different type of settlement, but this is it's too bad. Your name is everything.
Everything.
Your name is everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and she's saying now that she can't get any jobs with any real bigger celebrities anymore because he's, kind of taken her name and dragged her through the mud. But my thing is too is like now you have to be really careful with social media because these things are happening. Sometimes we just say stuff periodically. I know I've done it myself, and I'm like, ooh, maybe I should delete that. Maybe that's a little bit too much because now people are gonna take everything that you say and look at it like a microscope. You know what I mean? And there are people out there who will sue you very easily with things that you just are passing and saying. But I mean, what he said was pretty specific.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, like
and
that.
She won the defamation suit, or did they just settle?
No, she won.
She actually won,
or did she settle with the
Did he settle and say, okay, look, I'll give you $200,000 not to go to court? So we don't actually know if she won legally that he was declared to have defamed her.
Right.
Or if he just said, okay, I'll write $200,000 check to shut you up and leave me alone and move on. Because that's usually how those cases end up.
That's
they
probably
end up settling out of court.
Because $200,000 and you just walk away like, I'm happy. Like,
right.
That's that's how much your character's
worth. You take
worth.
out taxes.
You done.
Right. You already
got
down
about $98,000 left.
Right. Once you pay the lawyer, you got she took home like $20,000. You know what I'm saying? That'll last her a couple weeks.
She's going to be at Trader Joe's. She is not going to be at Whole Foods.
And then he's dealing with his own issues too because he threatened, or what did he have? He hit and threatened an off-duty police officer.
Yeah.
So he's up for his own kind of arraignment that's taking place pretty soon.
Come on.
And they're saying that if he's arraigned, he's going to get 3 years in prison. So
I'm, stepping off of that,
I don't look good in orange. I can't do prison.
Right?
No.
Orange is not the new black.
It is not. Don't let nobody lie.
I'm too lean to go to jail.
No.
I can't do
Too
it.
delicate.
My teeth are too nice to go to jail. Sorry.
But I'm glad this was
I don't fight.
I'm glad this story was kind of brought up because we do see it a lot. I was on Facebook Facebook the other day, and there is a page, y'all, called the Slander something, and they find people. Say you had an issue with somebody on your Facebook page. You say, this person's fake and they're doing A, B, and C. This page will take that person. I'm like, how do you even know? How do you really know? Are you
How do you vet it, right?
And they drag these people, like everyday people. Like, it's not like this is like a tabloid thing or anything like that. It's just like your uncle could be on this, just dragged out. And I'm like, how are you not getting sued for that? And like, there's a couple pages like this, and I'm just sitting out here ever since the Snoop Dogg thing had happened. Remember with was it Iggy Azalea?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then also that that girl that he made fun of. He posted the picture that everyone was making fun of. All these memes that are coming out of these random people, and it's like people are like dragging them through the mud. It's just like, let's stop, y'all. Like, there has to come a point where we're all taking a step back and not dragging each other. Like, that's
it'll be stopped when people starting to have to write these big checks.
Okay.
Trust me, it'll
That's
start
true.
real quick. Real quick.
boom. Well, if you guys want to start writing some checks, you can send them over to our sister site, AfterBuzz TV. I'm just kidding. So AfterBuzz TV is an after-show network for your favorite TV shows. Whatever your favorite TV show is, as soon as it's done, join us at AfterBuzz TV right after. Maybe it's like Real Housewives of Atlanta or Love and Hip Hop. Make sure you guys check out AfterBuzzTV.com.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you,
Segue.
DJ Jesse J. We're going to move on to gossip with Courtney Stewart.
Segue, moving right into Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all, the big news of the week, Nene gone.
Or is she?
Or is she?
Boom,
So
boom, boom.
Monday it gets announced Nene Leakes will no longer be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She gave the exclusive to People magazine, and her quote was as follows, quote, "This was definitely a hard decision for me. Me and my husband, Greg Leakes, have been going back and forth on it for weeks now, but my contract is up and I just think it's the right time. This is my opportunity to spread my wings and do different things." Well, come Wednesday,
I like how you changed to your ratchet voice.
come Wednesday, word on the street is that the reality is that they didn't want to up her paycheck enough to bring her back for a full character or for a full housewife, and that she may appear as a recurring friend of a housewife.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out which friend
That's
it
what
would
I'm
be.
saying.
Well, it's not going to be
Because
Claudia.
she ain't really friends with
Yeah,
nobody.
it's not
Claudia
gonna be
ain't on the show no more.
Right.
Portia still ain't been
Oh,
re-promoted
maybe
to a
that's
housewife.
why she was trying to get on Phaedra's good side.
I mean, maybe, who knows? So she can be Phaedra's friend. Either way, she might come back as a friend if the dollar signs are right. But she also said the reason was because it's so much work to be a housewife, and she's got all these other jobs. And I was like, boo, what are your jobs? Well, y'all, come Thursday, we found out this good woman got a job, y'all. She's going to be on the new ABC To Tell the Truth. It's based on a 60s game show. And basically, the premise of the show is that 3 contestants will try to convince Nene, Betty White, and a third panelist, who we don't know who that person is yet, that they invented something, discovered something, or whatever. And the panelists have to determine who was the imposter.
That don't sound urgent. You
I
better
mean-
keep that check. You better keep that check on deck. Keep that
Yeah, but
check
here,
on
only
deck.
thing I got to say about that though, whenever
He said
Betty
that doesn't
White
sound
is
right.
assigned to any type of program,
It does pretty
it
well.
lasts for years.
No,
So
you're right. Betty
that's
White
the
is
safe
the-
bet right there. Betty White is the safe bet on that show.
I mean,
I could swear they named the guy. It's going to be a guy.
Well, I didn't get
No?
the name of the guy. I looked, but where I saw it, they just said a third panelist. They did say that Anthony Anderson will be the host.
oh, yeah, that's
So-
what it is.
Okay, well that's I mean
You just
that's-
said the premise, and I still don't
I
understand.
don't
I don't
understand,
understand what it is
but I
at
mean,
all.
it was a show in the 60s. Actually, Betty White's husband was on the show in the 60s.
Wow.
So
Okay.
they were
Betty White.
excited. So it might be like super fun
Listen, I ain't
and
mad at
like
you.
super exciting. And she's going to be on ABC, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, it might be like a really good
ABC
thing.
pays well.
And ABC pays well. And she's also a character in Kim Kardashian's new game.
Who
So
is?
that was the deal.
Stop.
Who is Nene?
Nene. So I'm sure she got a nice little check for that appearance. So maybe it's gonna work out for Nene. But you can go to our website, blackhollywoodlive.com, and let us know if you think she's gonna have
I'm
a
gonna
career.
ask Kim.
Is it gonna
I'm
soar?
gonna be like, Kim, you re-up Joe's contract. You ain't give Nene some reality royalty wisdom.
Well, she's been
gonna-
hanging with the Kardashians a lot. So I'm gonna think maybe she does, and maybe this is Nene's little
This is her
chess play to really get her own show.
Could be.
She also has a show coming out with Kim.
With Kim,
which has already been in the works.
They're going to do like a
whatever.
road trip.
They're
or
doing a
something
road trip
like
show. So she might be trying to like set herself up to do her own show
transition.
after
Okay.
the trip show.
All right.
So she's like, I'm going to hold out on y'all on Housewives unless you add in my own show for real. So maybe she is being smart, guys.
That show.
Well, I'm
sounds
sure
like-
she's being smart.
We'll see. I don't know.
I need her to get a product. I just want her to have.
She
a
got
product.
a whole fashion line on
Yeah, what you
Yeah,
talking about?
she
She got a fashion
on
line.
QVC.
QVC.
She be selling out.
All right, she
She
sells
sells
out.
it.
Yeah, I was
She
gonna
sells
say
out
she
every
sells
time.
out.
Yeah.
Some floaty
And
black.
her makeup is
He
flawless.
said shawl.
Listen, when we were in New
Well,
York
as long as
for
the
the
wigs get
upfronts,
flat.
and I ran
Right.
into her and Kim and the whole team there, and she looked good. I gotta admit, like she puts it
keeps it
together. She
snatched.
keeps
She
it
gets
snatched.
snatched. She done ran
She
on
looks
that
snatched.
treadmill since she been on the Housewives.
She look good.
Yo,
She look good.
I'm not
keeps
mad.
it snatched.
She got them legs. I'd be like, dang, Nene, how I get them legs?
You know, I'm just
But
learning the hair. So her is it the lace front?
She's
you know,
working.
you know,
She's
you help
working
me
on the
with it.
wigs. She has moments with her wigs.
Because the lace front look good.
Well, that's good. If
I'm
that-
proud of myself for knowing what that is.
I mean,
'cause
assuming
you
that's
always
what it
get on
was.
me
I mean,
about.
we weren't there, so we don't know that
Okay.
it was a lace front. It could have
Okay.
just been a weave.
Okay, well, you know.
So you can tell if
Generally-
it starts lifting up in the front.
Her lace fronts have been a struggle bus, but I think that was on purpose to get our attention.
Really?
I've decided it had to have been on purpose. I mean, she
I did
literally
too because when we saw her at the
Struggle bus.
Golden Globes,
Yeah.
she was on
It
point.
was
did
on
say
purpose,
that,
yeah.
didn't she?
But
Struggle
literally,
bus.
I mean, she was wearing a Frankenstein wig on TV. She did
Now
that
that
on
one,
purpose.
Lord.
She did that
We
on
can't
purpose.
live that one down.
She wanted us to talk about her. I'm not mad. All right,
she
good
did.
luck, Nene. We love you.
Yes.
Hope to see you back occasionally on Housewives. Moving on to very smart people in the news. Trump. So yeah, y'all, we talked about it last week. He running for president. He's saying ignorant stuff. We're not going to give him no voice.
Who gonna vote for him though? For real?
Apparently-
Well, if
He made
Oprah
the-
was
didn't he
part
make
of
the
his
running?
team that
Apparently,
he wanted.
he is
you know.
number 2 in the Republican polls behind Jeb Bush. So somebody,
Wow.
and of course they say that it's just because he has name recognition right now, and people don't know who
Yeah.
the other people are. But still, the fact that I don't care if I know his name, I would not say yes, I'd vote for Trump. But somebody is. Either way. So this week we found out that the relationship between him and NBC is officially over, supposedly. He is suing Univision
Yep.
for $500 million
Yeah.
because
Better.
they were like, cut it loose, boo.
Yeah.
We're not airing the Miss Universe pageant, and he's pissed off about
Or
that.
Miss USA.
Or Miss USA.
Yeah.
So he's suing Univision.
a
NBC
lot of
released
money.
a statement. It's a lot of money. A lot of money.
Franchises.
But they do not want to get rid of Celebrity Apprentice.
And that's the only thing I was worried about because I
love
love
Celebrity
that.
Apprentice.
NBC
Yeah.
wants
Me too.
Y'all are
Celebrity
like-
Apprentice
No, it's my
to stay.
favorite show.
Is it really?
It is.
That's the
your
only
joint?
reason.
That's
Yeah,
my
that's
joint.
the only reason
I
I,
do
was upset
appreciate
about
it.
this. I was like,
I
Don,
do
you're screwing this
appreciate
up
it.
for me.
Yeah.
You would
But-
go on Celebrity Apprentice?
Absolutely.
In a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat.
I
Wouldn't think
wouldn't.
twice.
Sure would.
I
I'd
don't
be
know
team
enough-
captain. I'd
I
be
ain't got
all
enough
in.
rich
I'd be the
close
shadiest one of them
friends to be
all. I
on
would make sure I
Celebrity
would like
Apprentice.
strategically plan my demise of all of my other
Yep.
contestants.
I'd be a little Girl Scout.
So
knocking on
Survivor.
people's doors.
Survival. It's all
Y'all
about
are
survival.
hilarious. All right,
For real.
Excuse me,
well,
can I get
Real
you
$100,000?
talk.
will have your chance because NBC is not getting rid of the show.
Right.
And word on the street is they are trying to get a minority host.
Derrial Christon. That's it.
Well, no, but the twist is
The twist
Oh.
is I don't know what
they
the
want him
twist
to be
is.
Mexican.
Oh,
He
well,
or she to be
stop,
Mexican.
Stop, not because of
Wait,
the content.
you're lying.
No,
They
that's
do.
that's what
How
they
about
said
Paul
today.
Rubio?
That's the
No,
rumor.
that's the rumor.
That they want a Mexican.
Yeah.
That they said basically that it would be nice
Nice
if
to
it
have-
were
yeah.
a Mexican
Yes.
American
Yes.
because that would sort of thwart in the face of what Trump
what he
actually
said,
said.
yeah.
But the names that are circulating do not qualify in that category because
Jessica
right
Alba.
now
I heard Cheech and Chung were in the
No.
running.
What?
I
I was like,
like,
really?
I was like,
I
for
wouldn't
real?
even deny
They
it.
brought
I
him back.
would not.
They brought him back.
No, they have a dope podcast.
From
actually.
most
Literally a dope,
yeah, their
a dope
podcast
literally
is
a dope
Literally.
podcast.
It's
Literally,
a, no,
dope.
yeah, actually,
It's
literally,
literally dope.
it is all about that.
Literally dope. Okay, well,
Which I want to see that movie.
the list of names that are circulating for this host position are as follows. Puffy seems
I
to be
could
That's
pretty
my.
high on the list.
You got the vote already for
But
me.
didn't he
Go
already
ahead.
have? What was that show on VH1?
He had a similar show,
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
work for Diddy.
But I mean, the
Popo
bottom
did-
line,
that one
Popo
didn't
was
work.
on that, which we had
he's
a
in
couple weeks ago.
he's
studio.
in line. People are also bringing up Mark Cuban, Richard Branson, Martha Stewart, Warren Buffett, Omarosa, Pierce Morgan, and Jay-Z.
Jay'll never do it.
Jay won't do
You
it?
know who could get it though?
Who?
Omarosa.
I'm pretty like when I saw
I wouldn't be
Omarosa-
mad at her because of the history, and she
But-
would. She's good for TV.
Oh,
It
is
would be
she?
good. I would watch it. I'm
Really?
I'm not gonna lie. I
I'm
would
gonna call
watch it.
her. We gonna call
She'd
her.
be good for that.
You
We
think?
gonna call her.
I think she would add the drama. Like she'd be
Yeah.
telling these girls like an elbow. you fight.
Well, there you go.
Remember how
I didn't
got
think that would
what's
be
it-
the case.
she got Bethany all the way together.
She did. She
got all
did.
the
She
way.
did. Look, you had to turn yourself in your chair on that
I
stage.
had
She really did. She said, "Honey, you have me on your show."
That's the truth.
On your show?
That
Yeah,
is the
you wanted
truth.
me?
She did. You know what? I think she'd bring it. I mean, I would say Omarosa, Diddy are my two top choices.
But Omarosa's really cool with Trump, and she's always...
That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
because of the
Yeah,
history, it
inside.
actually would make it dope because of the history.
The
Yeah,
history.
that's what
Yeah,
I'm
she's
saying.
been on the
And
show,
she's
so
gonna
yeah.
bring the evil queen to the
Are you
television
kidding me?
screen.
She ready to find somebody.
She ready, yeah.
Mark
All right.
Cuban would be really good, too, though. I love Shark Tank.
Mark
Mark
is-
ain't got
think
time.
so.
for
Mark,
that.
yeah, I was gonna say Mark ain't got time to do that and Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Omarosa, she got time. Let's
Omarosa's got
let's make that
time.
happen.
All right, guys.
Let's put a campaign
well,
out
there
for
you go.
Omarosa.
You got a
Yeah.
double minority there. She's a woman
Second choice
and
Diddy,
she's
and play the
black.
track Diddy. when
Bethany
you come
gonna
on.
Yeah.
gag when she see that one.
Oh,
Don't do it. I'm gonna run back. Don't do it.
We need to have like Diddy moments
Yeah,
throughout the
yeah,
show. Diddy
exactly.
moments. 5-second Diddy moments.
oh, hold on.
Finna
Diddy
get
bop.
loose. All right.
All right.
Silly.
Y'all didn't catch that. Okay.
I did. You silly.
That is all.
silly.
That is all, you guys. Omarosa winning.
All right, Omarosa. Well, I hope that is seen because I'd like to see that happen. But before that, if you want to see some other shows happen on Black Hollywood Live, you should go to iTunes and give us a rating and comment. We have about 15 different shows that you can check us out on, from The Beat, which Jesse hosts, Fashion 401, which Courtney hosts, and we had Fonzworth Bentley today
Had a
joining
ball.
Fashion
Yes, he
401,
did.
giving all his style tips and what to wear, what he wears, and all the fun stuff. You also have Portraits, which we all do together, which is an intimate conversation with in-depth, long actors and actresses who have been in the industry for a long time. So check us out. Give us a rating. We like a 5. If you don't want to give us a 5, let us know why. We like to take those comments and create new programming for the show or figure out what you do and don't like. But go to itunes.com, look up Black Hollywood Live, and give us a rating. All right, boom. We're going to move on to the EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week. All right, well, we know that we are fresh off of everything that happened in Charleston,
Yes.
South Carolina, and the shootings that happened in the church. And, you know, everyone's kind of mourning that situation. And we also have found out in the news this week that there have been several churches that have had some incidents that they're equating possibly to some type of retaliation for what was going on in Charleston and what happened to Dylan Roof there, who was convicted of homicide and for 9 counts of homicide and possession of a firearm in Charleston. But what is happening is that they say that at least 3 predominantly black churches have been burned or
3.
caught on fire. They're saying right now it's 3.
Right now, in terms of arson.
It's arson. It's
Yeah.
3.
Right,
There
because
have been
you mean the
7.
Yeah.
lightning struck the
Yes.
other
Right,
ones.
and then now they have excuses for
3
the
other
other
ones?
churches
I think
that
there's
have
3 or 4 other
allegedly
ones.
down, but 3 of them they are saying for sure have been a reason of arson, including College Hills Seventh Day Church in Knoxville, Tennessee, God's Power Church of Christ in Macon, Georgia,
Yeah, that's my
and
family.
Briar Creek Baptist Church in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now there was a 4th one that was reported originally that they said was a black church, which is not ended up not being a black church, which is College Heights Baptist Church in Ohio, but it still had they're actually investigating right now because it had some type of arson sort of situation attached to it. Now a lot of the church officials are pushing for this to be a hate crime if once they find out who's actually doing this. And some of the facts that we found out is since 1956 at least 91 violent attacks have taken place on churches across the country, which is just ridiculous to me. And that we're in 2015 and we still are talking about the same scenario. What did you guys think when you first heard about this story in the news?
Well, my first reaction was, why wasn't it getting the same amount of coverage as, a CVS was getting in Baltimore? It's just utterly ridiculous. I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about the house of God. Whatever your faith is, somebody goes there to connect with the Most High. And for something like this to be happening in 2015 and it not making front page news in the climate that we're in, it just says a lot about the apathy, the sheer apathy in what's happening in the media today, and it's just really disturbing. It's really disturbing.
Scary, actually.
It is.
I got asked because obviously gay marriage got approved, and everyone was like, "How come you don't have a rainbow on your face picture? How come you're not excited? Like you can get married." Do you read the paper? Like, first of all, have you seen what's been going on? Like, my heart, I'm excited. I'm like, that's an amazing thing. But with what's going on right now, the fact that our minds aren't on that, the fact that we can sit there and I have to find out that we can say 3 to 9 churches, but I have to find this news out from Facebook because people want to put it out there and say, no, the news doesn't want to cover it, we'll cover it. And I appreciate everybody on social media. You know, I mean, I've seen some friends of mine who have just taken their Facebook and social media and deleted everything, and every day they post whoever's been shot. I mean, they do the research. They, you know, who's been, you know, arrested wrongly or all these things. And I think that it's like there's a good and a bad in it. The good is that I love the fact that we're finally coming together and where everyone's taking a stance and saying, you know what, we're not taking this anymore. We're not going to allow this to happen anymore, and we're not going to allow the media to tell us what's going on anymore, because the media has just washed over everything. And I really do believe a lot of this isn't being portrayed because, you know, we've had so much negative in the media. You know, let's just let the gay thing be happy right now and pull back from that. And so it's sad, it's scary. But again, I love that you commented on it's a house of God. Like, let's not even look at skin color. Let's just look at, this is a place where we all can connect. Because the people burning it down, I guarantee you, they probably believe in God and they probably are in the head.
Right.
But that is a place of God. No matter who you are, what you are, you are worshiping the same person. And so it blows my mind to even have to have this type of conversation.
Courtney. And you from Atlanta as well.
And
so.
Macon, Georgia is where
Georgia.
my dad is from. A lot of my family's in Macon, so that's why I knew about that. I thought long and hard about what I actually wanted to say about any of this, and but I sit and I want to know whose plan is it? Like, who in 2015? Okay, hate me because I'm black. Fine, decide that that's what you're gonna do, and okay. But when you start to choose,
it's just crazy that you even
it is
said
the
that.
idea, like, because the energy that is required to hate and to go burn down a church of innocent people, the energy it takes to go get a gun and shoot up those 9 people that opened their home to you. The energy required for me to even think about those things is so upsetting and angering to me at this point, because I'm just like, at what point do we decide, like, we're not going to do this? That's not what we're going to put our energy in. We're going to put our energy into feeding the kids that are hungry and getting homes for the people that need homes. Like, you can hate whatever you want to hate. If you only support white people, then go help some white people that need help and just don't deal with black people, like, at this point. But why do we have to terrorize and destroy and just be...
How are you winning?
What did you gain? Like, you're in jail and your life is pretty much over. So you haven't gained anything from it. And I'm not one of those people that, like, everybody's gonna love each other and be, because I'm not that kumbaya. I don't believe it's possible, and I don't believe that everybody is capable of it at this point. Some people just got some spirits about them that ain't own it. And crooked. We can pray for you, but at least, like, why do we have to encroach into other people's spaces and lives in a way like that when we're not happy? There's people I don't like, but I'm not going to go set them on fire. Like,
but here's my thing, not to cut you off, but
go ahead.
It's being a coward. You know what I mean? Because here's my thing: if you're bold enough to go burn down these black churches and that's what you stand for, then be a person who shows your face who's done it. You know what I mean? Like, if you hate people so much, let us see who you are. Like, own it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't go hide. And this reminds me of some old school, like, 1962 KKK stuff that's going on right now. Like, this is crazy to me. We're in 2015 and we are still dealing with this same BS. I mean, we have a black president in office. Granted, I don't know what that means right now, just with the world the way it is, because, you know, I feel like we have a lot of things that are going on that are probably because we have a black president, honestly. But I'm glad that we have a black president, obviously. But unfortunately, that also starts a chain of reaction to people who are bigoted and who are fearful of what that means. But this is crazy to me that we're still having this same conversation about churches. I was talking to my grandmother about it, who lives in Mississippi, who was talking to me about things that used to go on with the KKK. And she was like, I got to tell you, this is reminiscent, like it's reminiscent, and that's scary to me. While we're talking about millennials and changing the world, and people don't want labels and all this stuff, and we're still dealing with this. Are you kidding me?
Actually dealt with it.
Right. And now it's so funny. I went to a therapist session today, and the whole thing is coming to it. But now it's like, now the conversation's out there. Now the conversation is so out there that we can never go back. Now it has to be dealt with. It's people are taking stances. That's what I was saying about the social media thing. social media, you can have these hate groups and all that stuff, but it's going to backfire because social media allows everything to spread. And now people are taking a stance and saying, you know what? I can't get on the news, but what I can do is I have 5,000 followers or this many followers, and I can make my Facebook page a petition. I can make my Facebook page this. And I just think that we all need to get on the same boat for that when it comes to that. I think we all need to take a stance as far as we're not accepting this anymore. We're not going to accept hate. We're going to sit there and say that is a terrorist. Yes, this is a country in which we are built. You're free to say what you want, but now you're hurting people. Now you're affecting people. I don't care if you're mentally deranged or whatever excuse they want to come up with. That's fucked up. On any level, you have murdered people. And then you got Suge Knight up in here for $25 million, can't get out for running over a damn toe or something, you know what I mean? And then this kid shooting people.
Listen, don't get me wrong. I love Suge. I don't want you to come after me, but Suge's ass need to be in jail.
Okay, yeah, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
I love Suge. Don't come after me.
And Bobby Schmurder, murder cases and drugs. I get that too, but it's just like this kid went up into a place, knew what he was doing. That's terrorist shit. We're sitting here talking about ISIS, scared of what's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
If we were to pull one of them, what would happen? Guarantee you their bill ain't going to be $1 million.
I mean, sure. I mean, yeah.
Sorry,
I can't disagree with you. No, I mean, you're right. You're right.
But see, that like makes me feel like it's just a horrible circle, because the same way that there's all of us on social media that are like, bump the media, they're not showing this, read this, guys. There's just as many on the other side saying, F the Negroes, burn them up, do whatever. Like, they have their own crew. Like, I just was like, are we in a place, like, and I know the whole, like, separate equal thing is bad, but, like, can y'all just stay over there? Like, you don't, as a white person in America, you really don't have to deal with black people or Mexicans if you don't want to. Like, just stop bringing your energy to us, because we didn't do anything. Like, just keep it over there. You can just not marry nobody brown, deal with, I mean, you're going to be mad because the president's brown and there really ain't much you can do about that. But in your day-to-day life, like, why do you have to go and find, like, it just,
what was that city we talked about one time? Wasn't it in Oregon?
It was it was like in,
or North Dakota,
one of the Dakotas, I think.
Oh, they won the White Town?
All the White Town, where it's only white people, and they were planning on, like, this was last year, creating just a white-only town. Go
don't
there.
Even put them on the same continent.
You ain't got to worry about the black churches. You ain't got to worry about nothing.
Just have your white church, like, put up your sign,
Korea.
and I will be like, all right, I will respect your space, because I don't want you in mine, because you obviously want to bring harm and non-goodness. So I
Was it this show that we were talking about where we said we wish the president would come out and say, was it with you guys? And they said, they're killing you guys because they want to kill me. Was that with you guys that we had that discussion?
I don't think so.
No.
But I want to hear about that.
Might have been a bar conversation.
Yeah, I was like,
I was having a conversation with someone, and then they were like, they came out and said, you know, I wish the president would just get on the YouTube or something and just say to everybody, I'm sorry, but they're doing this to you guys because they want to punish me, and they can't.
No, they're not. They're doing this because they've been doing this, and they haven't stopped. Like, hate has not stopped in this country. We've been in a cycle of abuse of brown and black people in this country for hundreds of years, and we've put a Band-Aid on it with our, you know, civil rights, and, like, legally we're all supposed to be the same. But we didn't heal any of that. That's why there's an argument about the Confederate flag in 2015, and people still trying to be like, hey, it's a historical monument. Yeah. My grandpa died for it. Yeah, your grandpa also died, so my grandma will be a slave.
Right.
So, like,
we
can't. They're not separate issues. They're one issue, and that means something. And whatever. It's not going to solve. Racism exists.
Well, real quick, I do want to add, because you brought up something there, Jesse. The terroristic narrative has not been put to the forefront how it should be. And if there was a group that was brainwashed by some particular organization, ISIS or whatnot, and you knew nothing about that, and then you decided to take an action like any of these, you would be seen as a terrorist. Yep. This is a terroristic act. These are Americans. These are a part of our homeland, and this is a terroristic act, and it's not seen as that. And that's the narrative that I would like to be seen. That needs to be talked about, and they need to be dealt with like that. And that's where I am on that. At this point, it is a terroristic act, and that's the way I look at it.
And you know what really balanced me out with the terrorist thing was that when Diddy had gone and whatever happened with the UCLA coach, one of the charges was a
terroristic threats.
Like what?
Because I'm gonna f you up.
But we're not calling this boy. Oh, he's my
No, you're also calling him a boy. He's a grown-ass man,
Yeah, he's a grown
okay?
man.
He's
Yeah.
a grown man,
Yeah.
but he's a poor
18.
boy that was troubled, and he got in the
But
wrong
Diddy's a terrorist.
crowd.
Like, I can't.
Who is it, y'all? Who
Right.
is that? Who's doing it? Who's the big eye at the top? Like, who's
We'll find out
Doing
one
it.
day.
Like
We'll
Mordor,
find
Lord of the
out.
Rings over here.
somebody
Lord of
is
the
like
Rings.
doing this?
The puppeteer.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's a conversation that we can continue to have. And then we also want to know what you guys are thinking. Tweet us, Instagram us,
Leave them comments below.
Leave comments on
Leave the
YouTube. Let us know what
comments
you're
below.
thinking. Go to, obviously iTunes, listen to the show and tell us what you're thinking, because this is something we always continue to kind of circle back around. I mean, it's obviously racism is been a subject that's been going on for years and years. We want to know what you guys are thinking and let us know how you think we can change things in the
Brainstorm
world.
how to fix
Brainstorm.
it.
How do we hashtag
How
how
do
do
we
we fix
freaking
this?
fix it
How
so
do
we
we
can
fix it?
stop
'Cause
talking about it?
clearly this is a subject that's not leaving anytime soon. So we need to do something about it. But what I do want to do is end on a positive note.
Good.
We got a positive thing
Yay.
going on right now. So ballet dancer Misty Copeland.
Misty
Yeah.
Copeland.
Misty Copeland
Yes.
doing her thing.
The beautiful.
The beautiful Misty Copeland, 5'2" and
God.
everything, 32 years old, has been named the principal dancer for the American Ballet Theater in over
Yes,
75 years. This is the first time.
Yeah.
75
That's,
years.
first of all,
75
that's
years.
crazy.
That's crazy, right?
It's
so
America.
she has been featured on the cover of Time magazine. She's been profiled on 60 Minutes. And this is what Misty had to say after receiving this high achievement and honor. She said, "I had moments of doubting myself and wanting to quit because I didn't know that there would be a future for an African American woman to make it to this level. At the same time, it's made me so hungry to pursue through all of this, to carry the next generation. So it's not me up there, it's everyone that comes before me that got me to this position."
Yo,
That's proof that she's the right one.
She's the right
Amen.
one.
Yo, I just want to say, I when I lived in New York, I had a bunch of friends at Juilliard, and I had some female friends who were African American, and they were doing ballet, and they were always like the same thing. We're never gonna, be able to get into the
Have
show. We're never
careers,
gonna be able to
yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
we're not gonna make the cut. And I was like, and it amazed me how hard they fought and how amazingly talented they were. And so to see this is like, it's like seeing President Obama get put in. It's like now kids growing up have someone to look up to and say, I can be that pretty ballerina.
Yeah.
I can be that, because that's
That's a
crazy.
sexy picture, too.
75
Man,
years.
look
I'm
here.
looking at her, Ariel. That waist is snatched. That toe. Look at them calves. Like, yes, bitch.
She's killing it right there.
Yeah.
She's killing
She
it.
is.
She's killing it in every way.
Now, my question is, why do you
Right.
think it's taken African American dancers so long to get this type of achievement? There have been a couple males who have achieved a couple things here and there.
You wanna hear my conspiracy theory?
But
Ballet is a real specific kind of history, like, and aesthetic and the physicality of the women, and like, so they've always, you want to talk about, I mean, racist, absolutely,
Yep.
but they also have a very ingrained thought as to what
Body
is a body type for a ballerina. Like you learn by the time you if you've been dancing since you were a little girl, you learn by about 9 years old if you got raggedy feet and you can't be a ballerina. Like, they will tell you right away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not, part of it is a racial issue, but the other part of it is the ballet itself has the culture of ballet itself for the years that it's been around has a very specific look and appeal, like things that they appreciate and respect and determine is what a ballerina looks like and is. And that's why it also is even more awesome from a body type perspective, because she's a woman and she has a woman's body, and that was not always an acceptable form in ballet, period. So the idea that she is even a professional ballerina is awesome and amazing and fantastic. And now that she's at the forefront of it, it hopefully will like change people's ability to see, like, you can be the beautiful swan. Like, you are beautiful, and having a little bit of hip and an extra booty more than the Russian white girl is actually
But even to take it out of the race context, it's here's somebody, let's take it away from that. But here's somebody who now that these girls, because you go to that school, and all these schools around there, and these girls are in the bathroom throwing up. These girls are because they got to make that
having
cut.
bulimia.
Yeah.
And so nope, that's not
Physically.
that's not the statue.
Standard,
anymore.
right?
Yes,
You're right.
love
Well,
it.
I look forward to seeing what else she brings, and she's a beautiful girl.
And at
Congratulations,
32, y'all,
Misty. 32.
like, that's not
You're
lost
killing
on
it.
me either.
You're
Like,
killing it right now.
Do we know if she's single?
She is not single. She is not
Okay.
single. I
You
do
know.
agree. I know.
Did you go
I did
find out
a full
specific
research on
research? You did all the
her. She is not
research.
single. But it's okay. He's a lucky man who
Before you wrap up, do you know Missy Elliott? Can you contact her? Because I've had this dream, okay? And I need you to tell her this. I'm just going to give it to her, girl. All right. I've always had this dream from young. Missy Elliott is going to come out with a hip-hop video and use black ballerinas. I've always had this dream in my
just send her
head.
the show. You just said it right
There
there.
you go.
You
Make sure she got this show.
You make the exclusive. We'll just
I
send
just
her the
need
show.
that. And that would be so dope for her comeback.
That'd be fresh.
Where is the comeback?
It's
Come back
coming
soon.
out.
Come
It's
back soon.
coming
All right,
out.
congratulations, Misty. But we're kind of ending the show soon, so we want to talk to Mr. Fonzworth Bentley really quick about all the exciting things he's got going on. I mean, you got Lift Every Voices. You got a best-selling book on the New York Times, man. What's going on? Like, where can your fans find you, and what are they? What are you working on next?
Well, I've really enjoyed the post at Lift Every Voice. I mean, this show literally has been around for 15 years. I think I'm the 4th or 5th host on it. And I've done some Access Hollywood work in the past. What I really enjoy about this show is I'm able to go a lot more in depth. A lot of the questions that a lot of times just for some certain pop culture shows just aren't so relevant.
Right.
I think ultimately when you have platform, people are looking at you as someone that's like, man, how did you get there?
Yeah.
And the how did you get there, it's not just I met this person and then I went to this audition. No, I want to hear about when you had no money.
Right.
I want to hear how did you get through those moments. When you picked up the change in the couch hoping that you could potentially pay your SAG dues.
Wow.
These are
That's
the
real.
moments. That's real. These
real.
are the moments. And so those are the moments that I get to with some phenomenal guests. We just taped about 6 episodes this past week over the weekend, and so it's funny. It's like we think we know Isaiah Washington, for instance, and I just got a whole new appreciation for who he is, and the reality. And yes, did he get out of pocket with his comments? Yes, he did. But we all make mistakes. One of the interesting things I found out about him is he's the first African American in America to actually receive dual citizenship. Mm-hmm. In 2010. He's the first person to do that. That was a dream of Dr. King, a dream of W.E.B. Du Bois, Malcolm X. He actually did that, and it is very powerful. So he's literally overseas now doing some serious business. The average billionaire in Africa is 33 years old. Wow. And so it's really, really significant just to be able to go in depth with some of these great artists and to really talk about their faith and how they utilize that. So I've been enjoying doing that. That's every Sunday at 10 on BET, and I've been enjoying doing that. The book which you mentioned, thank you very much, Advance Your Swagger, How to Use Manners and Confidence and Style to Get Ahead. I just really felt that it was time for a modern day etiquette book.
Yeah.
It's not gender specific, it's for ladies and gentlemen. And the philosophy is I believe swagger is a tertiary agreement. Manners plus confidence plus style equals swagger, because it doesn't matter how stylish you are. If you're rude, don't nobody want to be around you.
Damn sure true.
And conversely, if you're stylish and confident, but you don't know if you're mannerable and confident, but don't know how to dress appropriate for the game, you won't even gain entry. And so that's the philosophy. And I've been going around. Several schools we've developed a curriculum with my mom. I wrote the book with my mom.
Spelman too, right?
My mom actually was there teaching that there, and done a lot in Mississippi Valley State, and there in the Mississippi Delta, which is the poorest community in America, right there in Mississippi. But it's life's work for me. I'm really passionate about it, because what I found is you meet so many people who, say I don't know my father, say my mom's on crack. If you have the foundational tools of etiquette, you can go in places that you probably would be a little more nervous to go in, because basically etiquette just makes you comfortable in all social situations. Yeah. And so now that young man can feel confident going to that restaurant with the white tablecloth. He may not be able to afford the appetizer or dinner, but he can sit there and order tea. Mm-hmm. And he's having a conversation with everybody in the room. I think back to the old days when we were in New York. I mean, Jessica and a little-known actor at that time, Terrence Howard. We would all go out. We were all broke, but we would put our monies together and get an appetizer at the finest restaurant in New York. This is pre-Google, right? And so every time, because we were young, people would come up and introduce themselves, and there was an opportunity to ask a question or to get an idea of what periodicals or what things were important in a particular genre to find out. And that's a wealth of education.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm really passionate about that work. But I guess of anything I'm working on, the coolest thing and the most proud I am is my daughter Zoe, who will be 2.
She's adorable.
Thank you. In July.
Yay.
And you know, my family is my first ministry, and I am happy to say I'm doing a dang good job.
Yes.
You mentioned something, and I wanted to kind of have you explain a little bit more. You're talking about kind of a lot of people see the end results of things. A lot of times they see the fame and all the glitz and glamour that comes with that. But you started off, you know, a very humble environment as far as like how you got to where you are. How did you get discovered by Diddy? A lot of people don't know that story.
Yeah, it's interesting. So what actually happened, you know, being in New York and I'm working at Ralph Lauren, and you remember I was working at the Polo Mansion, and so going out at night, I was living in Brooklyn. I could either go over to Brooklyn and change into something more casual, or I could go dressed out from what I had on, and you know, this is how I dress anyway. And so unbeknownst to me, I began branding myself, and it began standing out. And so I'll never forget, I remember one day I went up to Sean Combs at some party, and I was like, and Sean John had just launched his clothing line, which was, again, if you recall, when it first launched, it was just denim, velour jogging suits, and t-shirts. That was it. Well, I had worked in fashion now almost 3.5, 4 years. I was very confident in this space. So I walked up to him and I buttoned my jacket. I said, Mr. Combs, you want to do this? I said, but you can't do this. And then walked off before he could say something. Because see, here's the thing, people. You got to tailor your moment to the individual.
Yes.
You can't go up to Sean Combs and say, how you doing? My name is. Here's my resume.
10-second pitch. You need a 10-second pitch.
Right, you got to have it. And so I left before he could say anything, because I can't do verbal karate with Sean Combs. Next time I saw him, ran up to him.
Karate,
I walked up to him, and he's like, and I'm like, I was like, listen, I said, do you know how much more money than me you have? I said, but do you know how much better I look than you every single day? And then walked off.
Oh, you did the second walk.
I did the second walk off. The third one, and I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna round this out quick. I'm in Atlanta at a party. Make sure I get in there, and I got to use a different approach because it's security. And now I stand out. You may just get tossed.
Yes.
Right.
So he's at the other end of the party, and you know he's kind of. So as soon as he sees me, I'm like, right. I'm in New York. I'm at Blue Ribbon downtown. I'm at Blue Ribbon, very small dining room, as you know. He walks in, he sees me, he just A-lines to my table. So, you know, I stand up, but my jacket, it's a stare-down match. I'm sitting with a shoe designer and a young lady that knows him. I win the stare-down match. He looks at him and says, give him my two-way. I want him to work on my fall wardrobe. I didn't get it. I didn't send him a message on this two-way. I'm busy. I wasn't busy. I was at home like, oh my God, this is Puff Daddy's. Like, what am I gonna do?
I love that you gave the real answer. I love it. I love it. I love it.
So real quick, what ends up happening? I end up leaving. You know, I left Ralph. I'm working at 11 Madison Park. I leave there, and I just felt it in my heart. And I sent him a message. I said, I'm sure you're really busy. I need to talk to you. He said, who is this? I said, it's Derek. He said, where are you? I said, I'm at 73rd and 3rd. He said, who is this? I said, it's Derek Watkins. He said, where are you? I said, around the corner from my house. He said, who is this? I said, okay, now how do I let him know who this is? I said, it's Derek Watkins, the suit master. He didn't reply. I was like, he knows who this is. So I did what I do when I don't know what to do, is I talk to God. And see, prayer is not a monologue, it's actually a dialogue. But many times we don't take the time to be quiet and listen. And I said, okay, Father, I want you to tell me exactly what to say to him so that I can get FaceTime with him today, because I need it today. And so I sat there for 25 minutes in the lobby of my apartment. Next thing you know, it just came right out of me, and I said, you remember the guy from Howard University that traveled to New York City to intern with Andre Harrell? That's his story. I said, I'm that guy in 2001. Don't make me go back to work on Monday at the restaurant. He said, come to 1396 3rd Avenue. I started training as his assistant that day. True story.
Wow.
Perseverance, consistency, strategy, but ultimately, it was tapping into the supernatural to get the exact strategy to get there. And I'll end it with this. The children of Israel were given the land of Canaan, but there was specific strategy on how to take Jericho. And so Jericho, he said, okay, I want y'all to walk around that thing 7 times. And they probably look real crazy to them people inside of that fortified city. They probably look real crazy. But you know what? They heard a word, and all they did was went and listen to that word. So to those people that are listening right now, whatever dream, whatever vision you have for your life, I'm just asking you to quiet yourself and really press in to hear exactly what it is that he's telling you. Now, here's the thing. What he tells you to do may not sound like it has anything to do with that vision or dream you have for your life.
Yeah.
But whatever that thing is, do it quickly. He may say, go feed the homeless at a shelter. He may tell you I don't know what he's going to tell you, but whatever he says to do that thing, because on the other side of that is a release for your destiny.
Okay, so we're gonna have a TV show for you, and it's gonna be called Bentley Fix My Life.
Amen.
I'm the first guest.
Listen, I'll produce
Because I
it,
just caught my whole life right there.
And I don't even
Yes.
need to go to church on
Amen.
Sundays
Pastor
right now.
praise.
for
I mean,
real.
damn, what else you been
I
up
need
to?
a fan right now, and you need to go ahead and pass the.
Thank
The house of BHL, we don't
Right.
have.
Listen, I was going to ask you a couple more questions. I ain't asked you nothing else. We're going to leave on that
We're gonna
note.
leave it with
We're
that.
leaving
I
on
need to
that
step my life
note.
up.
All y'all need to rewind it right now and listen to that.
Wait, what's the
one
name
more
of the book
time.
again?
Advance your swagger, how to use manners, confidence, and style to get
Yes.
ahead.
Yes.
Listen, brother, I am proud
Thank
of you.
you,
And you
Jesus.
Thank you,
just,
brother.
we just had a moment right now that I just, listen, I don't even know how to end the show right now.
I'm like ready to jump up and start dancing.
You should end the show. I don't even need to end the show, but where can fans find you on Twitter, Instagram, and
You need a
Facebook if they
documentary.
want to know more about what you're doing in your books and all that stuff? I know you got some acting projects coming up too, so.
Yeah, well, you can definitely follow me on everything. I'm snapping, I'm tweeting, I'm gramming. I mean, if it didn't happen on Instagram, did it really even happen?
Right, you're right about
You
that.
need Periscope.
Yeah, para. Yeah, I got a para. I got a para.
Stressing me out.
You para?
I just started.
Snapping
BT
and
made me do it for the
Perry
BT.
and-
All right.
Yeah.
But I'm at Fonz Bentley, FONZBENTLEY. You know, you better ask somebody.
Ask them, y'all.
Yeah.
And give them the title of the book one more time.
Okay, it's Advance Your Swagger, How to Use Manners, Confidence, and Style to Get Ahead, and it's on iBooks. But I say support your local bookstore.
Yay.
They're there as well, and they're in Barnes & Noble and all that too.
And then Lift Every Voice is every
Sunday at
night,
10 a.m. No, at 10 a.m. Every Sunday at 10 a.m. and really cool guests. And follow me on Instagram. We'll let you know who's coming up.
Cool.
Yep.
Courtney,
Love
where can
it.
they find you? Besides that
Not
show.
on Periscope.
Yeah, not on Periscope.
She will not get
on
it.
Periscope.
You won't do it?
I
How long
was
you
about
been
to
doing
say
it?
in my
month.
room with Jesus because.
I know that's
I got
right.
an Android.
I know that's right.
But you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stuart Starlet.
Boom.
Jesse.
Boom.
Everywhere at DJ Jesse Jake.
You can find me at Derrial Christon on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And also remember to vote for the Buzz Meter question or answer Buzz Meter question this week, which is, will Nene Leakes' career soar after leaving Real Housewives of Atlanta? Let us know what you guys think, and we will read those results next week. Have a wonderful 4th of July weekend.
Woo, it's
Pleasure
my
to have you,
birthday.
Fonzworth Bentley, here tonight. We're going to go to his house for the 4th of July.
Right.
Barbecue.
Barbecue.
Hey,
Right.
hey,
Have
what's
a great
happening?
weekend.
Wanna go meet? That's right.
From producers Maria Menounos, Derrial Christon, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.